Welcome to the 4-Point Play. Today we're going to start with Victor Wembanyama's projection throughout his career. So currently he's averaging 21.1 points a game, 10.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 3.5 blocks, 1.3 steals. So 21, 11, 4, 4, 1. Pretty crazy stats for a rookie. 46% field goal percentage, 32% three-point. In just 29 minutes a game, he's averaging these stats. 29 is not even close to the top 50 currently in minutes per game. He's 7'4", 7'5". Some people say one, some people say the other. About 210 pounds. So, assuming the scoring stays constant by, and I'm saying this, age 26 for Victor Wembanyama, start of his prime, which will be in 2030. Assuming the scoring stays constant, I'm assuming he's going to average 31 points a game, 17 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 blocks, and 2 steals. So I'm projecting that he'd average the most rebounds a game since Rodman in 93, which at that point will be almost 40 years ago, and the most blocks per game ever. Currently, the most blocks in a game across a season is Mark Eaton, 5.56. I think he'll shoot probably 60% from the field. His three-pointers are already getting better. He shot 40% in certain months this year. I think he'll get up to 38%, and he'll probably play 36 minutes a game. He might grow another inch by then. I think he'll put on maybe 25 pounds, so he'll be about 235. And I'm banking he's going to have an 16 to 18 year career, maybe miss 1 or 2 seasons from injury. 5 MVPs, somewhere between 4 and 6, 9 depoys, somewhere between 8 and 10, and 4 rings, somewhere between 3 and 5. Because there's not a lot of repeat champions nowadays without, unless you have a super team that you form, which people might want to play with him. So I think he's going to be in the GOAT discussion. The offensive impact is going to be incredible. He'll be known as the best defensive player to ever play. He'll dominate the 2020s and 2030s. 1 to 2 titles with the Spurs, 2 to 3 with another franchise. Several quadruple doubles, and he might have a quintuple double. A lot of information there. You guys feel free to pick away or add.
Yeah, a lot of statistics there, a lot of high projections.
Yep.
I think he's gonna have a great career as well, but I'm not going to go to that extent into the GOAT discussion.
Okay.
When I view him, I go more into like that next kind of tier, like the
Olajuwon
the
tier.
like. And I don't think his career will be as long. Like I don't think an 18-year career for someone of that stature is like really realistic. I'll give him like kind of like a 14-time All-Star, a multi-time depoy, 4 or 5 times probably.
4 or 5 only?
Sometimes like
you don't think he's gonna have more than Rudy Gobert?
I mean, they like to spread the award around. You know how it is, and then
I don't know if he'll be spreading it much.
I'll say like a 2-time champion, because the team you have also factors in for that. So a 2-time champion's still great, and then I'll give him, I think 17 rebounds at that height is realistic.
He's already averaging 11, and he's a twig, and he's at the beginning of the season, he started slow.
The one thing, too, is I don't know how much weight he can put on. Like, at that height.
25 pounds in 6 years?
To be
doable.
mobile and, like, as agile as he is with, like, a lot of extra weight, I don't know if he can that can all translate.
But 25 pounds of 7'4" is nothing.
So, I mean, in short, I think he's going to have a Hall of Fame career, no doubt, but I don't know about the GOAT discussion. I think he's going to be in the next tier.
All right. I like that take. That's fair.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, I do kind of like the take you're putting out there when it comes to the depoys. I think that's the one thing where it's kind of like for sure I think he will definitely be winning it. I mean, at this point, the team sucks. Like
he's second right now.
That's what I'm saying. At this point, like there's people that are, courting him out there to be the guy, and like the Spurs are trash this year. I mean, they're putting up like 20 wins this year, and on top of it, he's just playing great in limited minutes. So I think that for sure 8 or 9, like if Rudy Gobert's got 4 or 5, like 8 or 9 for Wembanyama is not like a stretch to me to say that someone who could average 5 blocks a game or more. Like I think that's realistic for him to get 8 or 9 potentially, depending on what the rest of the league's looking like. The big thing for me though is like Mike was saying, I don't know if he's gonna have that like length of career, and you never know too when it comes to like how the Spurs are gonna fill out that roster, if he's gonna leave at one point, because like especially nowadays when it comes to like these contracts, it's tough for guys to leave because you can make so much more money if you stick with your franchise. You can get that supermax extension. You can just keep making that money, and it's like there's no point of leaving kind of at a certain point where it's like, all right, I can make like Luka when he could sign that contract for $80 million. He's going to do that with the Mavs instead of walking to go somewhere else. So it's like you're kind of stuck with the Spurs. Good thing they have a well-run organization, but I mean, for me, it's just tough because like with his build, like I mean, if he stays healthy, I'd be really impressed for his whole career. It's just like we have never seen someone with a build like that stay healthy and not sustain a major injury.
We've never seen someone with a build like that. Period.
Or just period above 7'2". Like we've never seen someone stay healthy for an entire career. Like I mean, Kristaps, another example, 6 foot, they're 7'3", 7'4", I think, tore his ACL. Like I mean, it's so tough when you get to those heights where it's like you're just a freak of nature to stay healthy. Like it's just kind of like, but I mean, I'm rooting for him to stay healthy. Obviously, I'd prefer that because obviously, if he's a player with great potential, like you don't want to have that what if, right? Where it's like, oh, what if he could have been this amazing player? But I think he could average 15 boards probably, points. We'll see what they add for second. We'll see what they add up for other options on the team. But I think that it's realistic to say, he could be close to a 10-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. I think that he could definitely win a couple MVPs. 5 championships, 4 championships, 5 MVPs. I don't know if that, like, I'm going that high, just because, like, there's a lot of other guys.
Between 4 and 6 MVPs, I think he'll get later on. I mean, we don't know the prospects that he'll be fighting with, but if he starts winning at a certain point, that's going to help.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be tough to see. I mean, he's having one of the best rookie years ever for sure, but we're gonna have to see how things unfold. Basically, I'm not willing to go like that far yet. The deep boys, he'll definitely have the most of all time when he retires if he stays healthy. That's for sure. He'll definitely have at least 5 or 6 if he stays healthy at the minimum. But yeah, that's what I kind of got to say about that.
I pretty much agree with all that. I mean, a lot of this comes down to the team around him. Like Defensive Player of the Year's award, that's really only valid if you're on a great defensive team. Like when Rudy Gobert won it with the Jazz, they were always a great defensive team. When Draymond and Kawhi won it, they were on great defensive teams. So it's hard for me to picture the Spurs as a great team right now, but they can definitely get there.
Yeah.
And then as far as MVPs, there's no reason for him to not win several MVPs.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what you're saying about the defense, I completely agree. I don't think like Wemby deserves to win it this year by any stretch because their defense is horrible. But in the rankings, he's second at the moment. And that's with the worst defense versus this guy who's renowned as an all-time great defender on the best defense. And there's no one in between them.
Yeah.
So Wemby goes up
at Wemby, because he is an excellent defender. It's not his fault that they're not a bad defense.
I think the Spurs know that every day after this season ends, this is a trial season. I think after this season, every day that goes by, like you got to be working for this guy. Mm-hmm. Like he is your like entire world at this point.
One thing to point out too is that I know we were talking about the Spurs being a trash defensive team, but like when he's on the floor, I'm pretty sure I saw a statistic where it's like when he plays, like they're 29th when he's not on the floor, but like when he's on the floor, apparently they're like top 5 in defense. So that's something to point out as well, where it's like, obviously when
the on-off numbers.
Basically when he goes to the bench, it's like they're trash because you put Zach Collins out there who's just like, he could score some buckets maybe, but he's not anything on defense. So, it's good to point out that I think that he could definitely, he's in there. I think he should deservedly be in the running, but I think that, I'd give it to Rudy Gobert this year. But next year, forget about it. I think he'll win a few.
One other quick thing to add that I think you'll like, I don't think you mentioned this, I think he can win a scoring title.
Maybe.
Because from the few games I've seen this year and the highlights, obviously, his offensive game and the package as a whole is very diverse. Mm-hmm. Like he can score in a lot of ways, and as the league has a lot of great centers now, but I still don't think any of them could stop him. He's just too tall. You can't block his shot. And if he can shoot threes at near 40%, there's no reason for him to not average in his prime 30 points a game or a little more than that, and then in any given year he could win the scoring title. Especially if they get better as a team, it'll be even easier for him to score. Yeah,
I predicted 31 in his prime. If he wins a scoring title and he's the best defensive player ever, I don't know how he isn't going to be a top 10 player at that point, because
he plays long
that's
enough,
insane.
Yeah.
One last thing I got to bring up about that, though, when it comes to like him scoring a lot of points, I think it's actually realistic he does as well. Because when you watch him play defense, it looks like effortless. It's not like it's like LeBron where it's like you're like a 6'9" wing and you really have to like get in front of your guy, guard him one-on-one, and make sure that he's not like, doing anything on you. This guy, it's just like he's so big that it's like he just sticks a hand up and he'll block a shot, and it's not like he really exerts much like stamina when he's doing it. It's not like he's getting up in someone's grill necessarily. He just kind of has to stand there and stick his hands up because you can't shoot over him.
Yeah.
So with me, it's kind of like I think that if he's not exerting much effort on that side of the floor, but he's still just naturally the best because of his genetics, I mean, for sure, you can put in more effort on the other side of the floor and be great and improve your reads when it comes to passing the ball, shooting the ball. That's all the kind of stuff that you can be developed as a player when you have the kind of potential that he does.
Yeah. I mean, especially like what you're saying with how easy it is for him to block. Right now he's averaging 3.5. The most ever in a season is 5.5. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, if he just hones in he's a little awkward and like flails a lot. Doesn't have great control of his body. Better than, I mean, it's pretty good for his height, but especially if he gets a little stronger, like, and he hones in how to block, like, he could easily have 6 or 7 a game. And I mean, he's had months where he's had like 7 a game already.
And one reason why I went a little bit lower on like some of the awards too is that now they have like the strict 65 game limit for awards, and I think like you already see like he's getting injury management before he even like started playing, like in the summer league as a rookie, where like usually most guys like you don't play on like a minutes restriction or like a game restriction at that age.
Yeah.
And as you get older, it doesn't really get any easier to stay in the courts. I don't know how many years he's going to play like 65, and that's why I took that into account for like the lower amount of like MVP and DPOY awards.
That's a very, very good point. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he hasn't had an injury yet, really. I mean, he had like he landed on some ball early in the season and missed like a couple games, but like nothing legitimate. I predicted that in his, I said 16 to 18 year career and 1 to 2 missed seasons from, I mean, at some point he'll have something, but I don't know how many games let me see how many games he's played this season.
He's probably missed like 4 or 5, maybe, right? If I had to guess,
he's played 68.
So 4.
So he's already met the award criteria.
But yeah, no, he's played the games.
So there's a chance. I understand all the worry and caution around him being 7'5" and wanting to make sure that he's on a minutes restriction and like nothing happens. I think he's just built a little different. I mean, I've said this analogy to you guys before. Guys like Chet Holmgren are built like a Nature Valley bar, and Chet's built like a Cliff Bar. He's got a little more elasticity to his build. So I don't know. He'll probably have a couple injuries just because, I mean, the tension and like leverage that his joints are going to have on them is immense at that height. But
I hope he can stay healthy. I'll tell you that.
That'd be awesome. I mean, do you guys think he'll have a quintuple double?
A quintuple double, no, but a quadruple double, yeah, for sure. I mean, he almost got one this year, so 100%.
Yeah, he almost had one the other day, and I think he might get one. If the steals is the hard one, but there's always a chance, especially if hit with his hands in the lane. Mm-hmm. But that and 10 blocks
it's pretty ridiculous.
That's insane.
You need overtime for that.
All right, let's this year in the playoffs, certain things might not go the way that certain teams want them to, and there could be some movement from star players and even not superstars. Do you guys have any trades that you think could happen depending on certain outcomes at the end of the year? I know, Hutch, you had one. You had one on your mind that you wanted to share.
Well, this is a team that's been weighing on my mind a little bit. The Milwaukee Bucks had a title run only a few years ago now. But since then, it seems like they've not been able to get over the hump and have been beaten by teams that are, quite frankly, worse than them. Whether it's the Miami Heat or, well, I guess just the Heat and the Celtics, right?
Yeah.
Those two. But the problem is, even the Celtics, they can bother a guy like Giannis with Grant Williams. And it just seems like Giannis hasn't had quite a dominant run since he won the championship. Although he's played well in those series, against the Celtics, though, it does seem like there's been a ceiling for him. Or when you start giving him Horford and Grant, he has a hard time. So the question is, moving forward, they now have Dame, Middleton, and Giannis on the same team. They're struggling with their cap space, and they are not going to have good draft picks. So the question is, how much longer will Giannis want to stay there? I know publicly he's going to do the Dame strategy and say how he loves Milwaukee, he loves the city, he's loyal, all this stuff. And that's true. Foreign players typically are very loyal to the team that brings them in. But as far as winning basketball, there's so many teams he could go to with better futures than the Bucks. And the team that
he's expressed it already.
Exactly, yes. And they've exhausted a lot of options. They've already been through Holiday, they've been through Brogdon and Mirotic and Bledsoe, and Middleton's done, and they've had a lot of good players with him, and it's only resulted in one title, frankly, because of a lot of injuries. So the idea is he would have to want to ask out. They would never trade him unless he started that conversation, because you can't. You'll never draft a guy like him again.
Never.
So it's kind of a fallacy, right? Teams say, "Oh, we got to try to move on, and then let's try to draft a guy as good as the guy we already had."
Yep.
But if Giannis were to ask out, I think a team that could get him in the next 2 to 3 years would be the Oklahoma City Thunder. People have talked about Paul George going there in free agency. None of us think that'll happen, but wouldn't it be even better if it was Giannis? Because the Thunder have 15 draft picks in the first round in the next 5 or so years. Most of these are from good teams, so they're not going to be high-quality first-round picks. But I'm thinking if Giannis asks out, no team can put together a package like that. Because most of these picks, they can just trade all at once. It's not where they have to do every other. So they could literally say, we'll give you 8 firsts, Jalen Williams, Chet, Giddey, whoever they want except Shea. And all of a sudden you have a team with good cap space and 2 of the top 5, let's call it, 5 to 7 players in the league.
Yeah.
And moving forward in the West, that would be probably the best duo outside of maybe Jokic and Murray. A lot of the duos are older.
I think they'd be better.
They might be better. And then a lot of these duos are older, whether it's the Suns or the Lakers or the Clippers. These are all older teams we expect to regress.
Yep.
Whereas the Thunder could run the West for this decade if this happened.
I love that. I also think the fit with Shea is just better than Dame, and the fit is just better. Shea is more of a traditional point guard. Dame is just a shot chucker. He doesn't really know how to play with Giannis. He doesn't know how to pass to Giannis. He doesn't know how to do the pick and roll with Giannis.
And he's regressed.
Yeah, and I mean, he only plays great when Giannis isn't playing, frankly. Shea and Giannis would be an incredible partnership. I think that would be an insane duo. I don't know what you do to that.
Yeah, that would be pretty insane. I think that very well could happen. I think that wouldn't happen this summer, but I think that potentially next summer that could happen. Because I think if you're Milwaukee and you just made this big trade, like you shoved all your chips to the middle of the table when you traded for Dame. You got rid of Drew. I think you attached a couple picks maybe to that. So that was basically the rest of their assets, as we know. Because like Middleton, Brook Lopez, like none of these guys, like Connaughton, they're not worth anything anymore. So like if you got no picks and they're not really valuable, then on top of it you pushed all your chips into the table for Dame. I feel like you gotta if it doesn't go well this year, let's be real, they're probably gonna fire Doc Rivers if they don't make a playoff run, just because he's everybody talks trash about him. But if they get another coach through the door next year, if things do not go well, and then they decide to run it back one more year with Giannis and Dame, which I think quite frankly you kind of have to do when you make a trade like that. If it doesn't work next year, for sure, I think that Giannis will be asking for a trade. I mean, I don't think that there's no way he's sticking around with a guy like him when you have potential to be one of the all-time greats, really move your way up those lists. Like, he's not just going to sit around and do nothing. He's not going to make the mistake LeBron did, staying in Cleveland too long.
Yep.
For me, I mean, there's a couple you could do and certain players who I think could be on the move, like LaMelo Ball maybe. I think Charlotte, they might move in a new direction. He's a young, great player who I think any team would love to have, and that's someone whose name could be on the market. The Hornets too, they usually rebuild every couple of years, so he's been there for maybe 3 at this point. So
rebuild.
He's hard to trade. I mean, do you get anything back that's better than him?
Maybe his assets probably.
He's really good, but the value's awful because he's always hurt. Even though I love LaMelo, I love the way I think
even guys like Zion and Ja too, depending on
they could
if the Pelicans, if they flame out in the first round and the Pelicans don't want the drama anymore and the constant Zion doesn't always play and he's got a lot of drama surrounding him. I think they might maybe look to ship him out maybe to a team like the Knicks might come calling. The Lakers don't have the assets, but teams like that will definitely come calling. And I think another one that I alluded to in a prior video is if the Suns implode, Golden State might be trying to maximize their window and try to bring Kevin Durant back into the fold.
Oh my god, that would be absurd.
I don't know
because
that'd be crazy.
If the Suns, if they flame out early and like they just know it's not going to work, KD might be looking to get out. Golden State, they're faltering. They're at 10th right now. They probably won't be in the final 8. So they're going to want to try to maximize because Curry's still a great player. They want to get as much as they can out of him. He's willing to stay there for the rest of his career.
Yep.
And who better to do it with than a former guy who won you 2 championships?
All right. I got 3 that I'll go over quickly. Both have to do with what you just said.
Wow.
First one involves Steph. They're already a bad team. They can't do a lot with the other guys they have. Is it really fair to try and maximize what you have from Steph? Or do you think he's earned the right? He's done as much as you could possibly want for your franchise. He's the best poster boy there's ever been for a franchise. I mean, does nothing wrong off the court. He's awesome on the court. He's entertaining. You might as well do right by him and send Stephen Curry to the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, no.
So, in this deal, a 3-team deal.
Yeah, he'd be on the phone with his agent immediately to get that, to get him rerouted.
Wait. We got Steph going to the Spurs.
Oh, no.
The Spurs are giving up Trey Jones and...
That's a great return.
Yep. Trey Jones, City...
Even know
City, I don't know this guy's name. This is just going to the Nets. This is going to the Nets just to help out with the finances. So the Nets are getting Trey Jones and City Kosoko.
So
on the Warrior side, they're getting Keldon Johnson, Schroeder from the Nets, Devontae Graham, and Zach Collins, and a bunch of picks. So the starting 5s we'll have on the Spurs. We got Steph, Devin Vassell, Cedi Osman, Sochan, and Wemby. They'll probably work around some of those other pieces. It could happen. Not the trade. Well, the trade probably won't happen, but it could be successful. The Warriors, you got CP3, Clay, Keldon Johnson, Draymond, and Looney. You kind of just
it's a good
at that point you're just trying to rebuild. Let Dre and Clay finish their careers in Golden State. Nets, who cares what they do?
And the Warriors, I think, definitely aren't gonna do that. They want
that's fair.
They want Curry to. They want to have Curry. He's huge for like marketing and like selling tickets and and he's still a great player. And he obviously has expressed that he wants to be there. So
yeah,
I think they're gonna try to build through him. And like I said, if it's not Kevin Durant, maybe a guy like a Zion, someone like that. Like
that one's a little outlandish.
That one, I don't know. Second, if I like that one.
That's fair. I think you'll definitely like my third one. Second one, I think you'll like it.
We'll see.
Kevin Durant to the Knicks. This has been talked about for ages. I mean, if the Knicks right now, they have all their picks. They need to get a superstar. They're not winning with the team they have now. They need to upgrade. Randall is not the guy.
Yeah.
The Suns, I mean, if they win a lot, if they go far in the playoffs, maybe. But like, if they don't get past the second round, there's a chance that they are just like, this isn't working out. So Kevin Durant goes to the Knicks for Randall and Josh Hart and picks. So the Knicks starting 5 would be Brunson, DiVincenzo, Durant, Anunoby, and Robinson, which is a title contending starting 5 in the East. And then the Suns, and this helps, both teams will still have a bench because it's not a lot of players, but the Suns kind of get more what they're looking for in a couple more just pieces. They're really shallow with Durant. So you get Hart and Randall, so it's Booker, Beal, Hart, Randall, and Nurkic. Pretty solid starting 5, not as prolific, obviously, without Kevin Durant. But you kind of get a little bit of toughness, too, with Randall and Hart. That's something that the Suns are really missing out on. So I kind of like that, just fit-wise for both teams. Third one, this one's a little more realistic, I think. Mikal Bridges to the Kings. So the Nets would be sending Bridges and Finney-Smith to the Kings, and the Kings are sending out Herter and Barnes and some picks. So Kings starting 5 would now be De'Aaron Fox, Murray, Finney-Smith, Bridges, and Sabonis. I think that's
Solid
conference
like that.
That's conference finals contending starting 5.
That's a good
Maybe
one.
depending on if anyone gets hurt on the Nuggets or another super team. The Nets, they don't have a lot to play for right now. They don't have their picks for the next couple years. The holding Bridges hostage is kind of just wasting a talented player's career. You might as well waste some less talented players' careers, I guess. Like Harrison Barnes, who's already won titles. He's kind of just disintegrated.
He's already wasted enough time in Sacramento. He's been there
Yeah.
since before they're winning.
Yeah.
He's been there for a while.
And Kevin Herter, I mean,
Red Velvet.
yeah, Red Velvet. We don't know if he hasn't been as great as they would have wanted for Sacramento. I think this is just an upgrade. The Nets don't really have much to lose by doing this trade. I think that's probably my favorite out of the 3 and the most realistic for sure.
Yeah, that one could definitely happen.
They'll probably get picks attached to with them.
Oh, well, yeah, the Nets would be probably receiving picks.
2 firsts, couple seconds maybe.
I don't know about 2 firsts. Mikal Bridges has not had a good year.
No, his value's gone down.
But it's the Finney-Smith.
The Finney-Smith is each of them are probably worth a pick in this.
Maybe.
If you're the Kings, you do it. There's not a lot, especially because you're not getting rid of Fox or Sabonis. There's not a lot where you can move around the lines. You already have Malik Monk, who's a perfect 6th man. He's about to win 6th man of the year. Herter is meant to be, and you have Keegan Murray. You want to let him grow because he was a top 5 pick. You need him to flourish. So adding another guy like Finney-Smith, the 3-and-D guy, and Bridges really just, I think, puts them over the top.
Can I say for the Knicks one, I have a comment on that one.
On the KD to the Knicks?
I think that's actually very realistic because that's a Knicks trade.
Oh,
Bringing
yeah.
in an older player that's going to be past their prime and ending their career.
Yep.
Too late, because they've done that. What they did with Larry Johnson, they did with Stoudemire. They always think they're going to do better, and then they get like the second tier
Carmelo.
guy.
Well, they got Carmelo earlier on, like not when he was washed, but like he was just an empty numbers guy. At that
Stephon Marbury they brought in.
Yeah. So bringing KD at age 35 or whatever, that's fitting for their.
Well, he'll probably be
their
36
history.
at that point,
36,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, that. Yeah, I mean that's why I feel like you only at that point have like Randall and Hart. Like Hart's pretty valuable. Randall is kind of just the money guy, and like he's a stud, but like Hart's the candy there that you're really going for. So I think I agree with you. I think that one's realistic. The Steph one is kind of a pipe dream because I love Wemby.
That one will not happen.
That one will not happen. But I wanted to throw it out there. You guys got any other ones you thought of or nah?
Nothing like specific like that. Like, I didn't utilize the trade machine quite as
good.
effectively as you
It's all
did.
good.
I was just thinking too this summer, like in terms of Paul George, he's going to be a free agent.
That's a good point.
I was thinking maybe not like, because obviously he could do that thing where if he wants to just go to Philadelphia, right? Because they're going to have the cap space for that. I'm thinking of it in a different lens of like maybe there's other teams that want to recruit him, but like obviously they don't have the money to just give him that $50 million salary. So maybe a sign and trade's in play there.
Yeah.
So it's like you never know with Paul George, but I mean he's like the only other guy right now I'm thinking of where it's like I mean he could fit. You can plug Paul George in anywhere. I mean he's that kind of guy where it's like he doesn't need the ball too much. He
Yep.
can shoot and play defense really well. He's tall. Like I think that Paul George could be a good fit anywhere. So we'll see what happens with that. But that's the only one that I'm kind of thinking of.
That's a good one.
And I think that's even realistic for him to go to the Knicks more so than like Kevin Durant.
Could happen.
Just because like Kevin Durant, I don't know if he wants to go back.
We're back. We're going to now go over a couple players who we think could finish top 10 ever. But we're only going to say players who are under 30. So we're not talking Steph, we're not talking KD, we're not talking Harden, any of these guys who, you know, are already Hall of Famers. We're talking about the guys who are under 30.
You can say Embiid maybe because he is 30. If you want to include him and maybe say that he can go on a crazy run, but like let's say like 30 and below.
I wouldn't say it for him anyway, so
I wouldn't either, but just
I don't think we don't have to include him. I only have 6 guys. I want to hear what you guys got to say first.
So for under 30, I mean, I know Jokic and Giannis are under 30, so definitely like those two, I think those are staples.
Yeah.
Then for like some of the younger crop, like you'd go with I think guys like Luka, guys like Jason Tatum, Anthony Edwards. I think those kind of deep, like that class of players are like the ones you'll see.
Yep. Yeah, and can't forget our first segment.
Oh no.
Oh, and Victor.
Yeah, and Victor.
Assuming health.
So
for any of them, but
what you said, those are the 6 guys I have. And my order would be Jokic definitely has the best chance. Wembanyama has the second best. Giannis has the third best. I have Tatum above Luka. I don't think Luka's going to do a lot of winning in his career. I understand why a lot of people think Luka's better, and it's a fair take. I just don't think Luka's going to do enough winning in his career. He's really talented, but I don't like his motor. I don't think he has the ability to play with a lot of guys. I think Tatum has a better ability, and right now he is probably on pace to win this year, him or Jokic, which would help both of them in this regard. And then my last guy would be Anthony Edwards, just because he has the it factor. We'll see if he ever actually blossoms into, like the superstar. He's probably not a top 10 player yet. He's really fun to watch, and like it's one of those things where you watch him and you're like, you can kind of see it, but we'll see if he actually, it could be kind of an eye trick almost. I love him, but I think we'll see if he actually has the potential. But those are the only 6 guys that are in the league right now that I could see doing it. I don't see Shea doing it. I don't see really anybody else. Booker, no. Anyone else you guys think of or disagree with us?
I was gonna say I only thought 4. I thought Wembanyama, Luka, and then obviously Jokic and Giannis. Those are the only 2 I could think of being like cracking like a top 10 for me in terms of like just what I've seen.
Yeah.
But like also, I mean, like obviously, if we're not going to include guys like Peyton Pritchard in this list, I don't know. I mean, Reggie Bullock was kind of a stretch for me.
Oh, we forgot Nas Reed.
Yeah, but no, I thought that those 4 guys kind of like I would probably stop it there. I mean, like I think that those 4 guys to me, with what I've seen, it's kind of like they're just like on that tier. Like Wembanyama too, best rookie year ever probably.
Yeah.
If we're being honest, like
Maybe
Shaq had a better one, but
I think the defense from Wemby's a little better.
Yeah, but I mean, it's apples. I mean, not apples to oranges. It's just coin flip, whoever you want there. But no, I think definitely those 4 for me. I wouldn't go Ant or Tatum yet. I mean, like maybe if they do some winning in the next 3 years, I could say like they have a chance to do it. But at this point, I mean, I can't say that yet.
I assume you'll have the same, right?
Similar. I don't think Jason Tatum's ever going to win MVP. Maybe it's a hot take. I think he would have already won it because this year they're the 1 seed. And everyone thinks they're the best team in the league. Yet only for maybe a month or 2 is he actually considered as kind of a top 3 candidate.
I think the problem is that just because he set the standard last year for his scoring, and now that everyone around him is better, he kind of he didn't regress at all, but he's taken a step back.
And he's had the statistical year, and he was an MVP, and he's had the winning year.
Yeah.
So I don't know like what he has to do to actually win it. He has to do both. But he wasn't. But so that's for Tatum. I don't think Anthony Edwards will win MVP just because, frankly, I just think he's a little overrated and over-discussed right now because he's new.
Yeah.
Like Donovan Mitchell puts up the same numbers Anthony Edwards does, and no one's ever mentioned
He's a lot older.
He's older.
Anthony Edwards is 22.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying Donovan Mitchell's never been considered an MVP caliber player.
He also can't defend, though.
And
Anthony Edwards is a great
And Anthony Edwards has like
defender.
4 inches on him, I think.
Yeah, and Mitchell's 6'1". I think Edwards is 6'4", maybe 6'4".
Yeah. Point is, they're about the same effectiveness on the court. I don't think Anthony Edwards is significantly better than Donovan Mitchell.
I think just from the short series last year against Denver, you could definitely see Ant kind of had it in him. He literally won them a game single-handedly against Denver.
Mitchell's done that too against OKC as a rookie.
He did. Mitchell, he's had some great playoff games, but he's also kind of, the reason he left Utah is, they were pretty disappointing the whole time he was there. So
I'm not picking Mitchell to win MVP, but I would I would say Luka, Wemby, obviously Jokic, Giannis, then I would say maybe Shea, just because I think they can.
You think Shea has a better chance than Jason?
Yeah, because I think he's closer this year. He's closer to winning MVP this year, and I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah, but MVPs also don't put you in the top 10.
Top 10 what?
Championships put you in the top 10.
Yeah, you need a combination of both, but
They might win.
You need probably one or two MVPs.
I think Tatum's closer, a lot closer for championship, and they're. I mean, Shea's dropped off the I think that was kind of what you're saying with Anthony Edwards. I think people are jumping the gun with Shea just because he has nice, pretty stats. He's not the MVP.
I think he's a little bit
at this point. He should be fourth, like right above Tatum.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So like they're kind of the same in that regard. Like I think Tatum will win one. Like I said, Luka just I don't feel like I know he's super talented. I just don't feel like he has it in him to really win a championship. I can't picture him locking down on defense for an entire 16 wins run and holding the trophy. I don't see it.
He'll be like one of those players who he won't have as many rings as some other players, even his peers, other great players, but you'll know he's still an all-time great in terms of his ability and his scoring ability. He'll be one of those kind of guys, maybe one championship at most, but he'll still be one of those legends that you remember.
Two, with a guy like
True.
him, even
if he gets one or two,
even if he gets one and it's a crazy run,
he'll probably pass the Dirks and
I mean, I don't know if he gets one and let's say he wins 3 MVPs and just keeps putting up the numbers that he's doing with these just absurd stats. I could totally see him getting in the top 10, even if it's just not. I mean, you really need 2 titles to get in there to be in consider. I mean, I don't know if you can get in the top 10 with a title. You need at least 2. But
at least you might need. Is anyone in the top 10 have less than 4?
If people put him in there.
I mean, yeah, but
Hakeem is 2 if you keep him there.
I think Steph bumped him out recently, so
I mean that's
but he
a
was
tentative
he
list,
was there. But Hakeem also has the defense, all that stuff.
I just think with Luka too, one thing to point out with him is he's been a first-team All-NBA player every year since his second year in the league.
Yep.
He's going to break that record that LeBron has for 13. Because if Luka makes it this year,
he will.
He's got 5. I think it's 5 already, right? So he's almost halfway to LeBron. So that means that all Luka's got to do is make it the next 5 years, and he's already got 10.
I mean, that's true. I don't know how much that's really first-team All-NBAs really contributes to your top 10 case. It definitely helps when we went through the top 10 in one of our other episodes, we were nitpicking all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean that's fair. Luke, he's one of the most talented players ever. He's a lot of the guys in the Mavericks organization already say he's better than Dirk, which is kind of disrespectful, but it's I mean it's fair. He's probably more talented.
Greater, yeah.
But saying he's better is just kind of a little disrespectful, but whatever. I mean, those are the only 6 guys I can even fathom. And if you leave Jokic, Wemby, and Giannis are the cement ones for me. The other guys, I think, kind of
they have a chance.
We'll see. They have a chance depending on their career, on how it pans out.
Well, I think right now it's just. I mean, Wemby obviously with the rookie year he's had projecting I could see that, but really I think it's just Jokic and Giannis at this point that have a clear because of the accolades they've already won.
They're on the way. Chance. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of something that could help this, who do we think the next 3 MVPs will be? So 2025, 26, and 27. My picks.
I know.
I think you actually. I
know who you're gonna have. I know that you're gonna
really?
have Mr. Wembanyama in there.
He's not on my list.
Really? I'm sure.
You like that?
Yeah.
Mr. Tatum's on the list.
He's on my list. All right, I got next year Luka, the next year Tatum, so 26 Tatum, and 27. He's gonna have one final crazy run. He's gonna win the Depoy. Giannis. So I think the next 3, Luka, Tatum, Giannis. And Giannis at that point, he'll be a little older. He'll be 32. But Karl Malone won it at 35. There's been a lot of MVPs who have won it in their 30s. I think he's gonna age pretty gracefully. And I think they really just need to get the Luka one out of the way. He might win some after the 27 season, but I think they really just need to get his out of the way, and then the buzz is gonna slow about all the people in comment sections getting upset that he's not in the lead. And then I think the next year Tatum is I think next year the Celtics are probably going to have a pretty similar roster to what they have. After that, I think they're going to have to ship either Brown or Holiday or some of the guys out just based on the financial
Not
stuff.
enough money to go around.
I mean, Tatum's that season that I have him winning MVP is going to be making $65 or more million a year. They're not going to be able to have all those guys. So I think that's the year where the roster is going to get diminished a little, and he's going to take another step up when he's 28 years old. What do you think?
Yeah, Mike?
I think those are all three great players. I think Giannis will win one, but I think earlier than that. I think as soon as maybe next year.
I was thinking about it, but I really think they're going to push Luka next year.
Especially if they kind of disappoint this year in the playoffs. I think he's going to want to come out with vengeance and kind of.
I feel like that's what he did this year, and he's deserving this year.
But I think this year is a little bit different because when you bring in a guy like Dame, the expectations were raised just a little bit. Holiday was a great player. He was a huge part of their championship team, but Dame's in another level of a star.
He is, yeah.
So I think when you bring someone like that in, the goal is a championship, and if they fall short, I think Giannis's motivation to kind of to play great will go up, especially because outside of that one run that Hutch brought up earlier with some of the injuries, he's been more disappointing in the playoffs than having great success. So
totally fair.
I know it's a different time of the year too, but I think if they don't do well this year, he'll come out with vengeance.
Do you think Giannis next year, and then who do you think the next
I think
year?
Luka will go back to back and win 2 more.
That's a fair take.
What do you got, Hutch?
I like what Betsos just said. I really think Luka could win 2 here, and Giannis could win 1. I also think the floating sort of guy who will fall in the next 3 years will be Jokic again, because I think he'll win another championship, and then that'll sort of legitimize him to get another MVP award.
A 4th?
I think he could.
Because we're assuming, we picked next 3 because at this point Jokic, the odds are minus 4,000. He's gonna win the award. He'll be 3-time. I think after 3, I don't think that the media has already been trying to not give him the 3rd and even the 2nd one for a while because they don't see him as that level of player. And he's an all-time great. He's incredible. But 4 MVPs, that's more than Tim Duncan, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson. Are you kidding me? Jokic is not those
That's
guys.
Shaq, Kobe, and Duncan together.
Yeah,
that's just historic, though. If he deserves it, then he'll win another one. But
it's true.
If he wins another title.
But that's the thing is, everybody's deserving.
You're right.
Giannis could have won it the last. You could make an argument for Giannis the last 6 years. Even though, I'm not taking anything away from Jokic. He definitely deserves his 2, his 1 this year, maybe even last year. I was thinking about putting Luka twice and not having Giannis for the 3rd, but I really think that he is gonna and at that point, I have a feeling he's either gonna be on a different team or Dame's gonna be gone.
When he's on the Thunder.
Giannis in 27, I think will be. I think he'll take over maybe the number 1 player in the world title again. We'll see. Depending on who's winning. If Jokic is still winning titles in the next 3 years, that'd be crazy. But
what do you think, Rob?
So you said you think Jokic is going to get another one?
I'm stuck between Luka twice or add Jokic in for 1.
Well, there's 3.
I know it's very possible Luka could win 2 and Giannis gets 1, or Jokic takes 1 of them. That's. So
you think 2 for Luka and either Jokic, Giannis the other?
Something like that, yeah.
That's fair.
Okay, so I have a really tough time picking this. I like what you guys were saying, and I think if Giannis were to win another one, I do agree. You said it would be the 3rd one, right? The 3rd year?
2027. So yeah, Luka, Tatum, Giannis is what I said.
So I do agree with you that if he's going to win another one, and I think that is very possible, I don't think it's going to be with the Bucks at this point. Because I don't think next year, if they flame out this year and once again, you can't move off of Dame. You're stuck with him. You can't trade. So if you can't move off of him, you have to bring in a new coach, assuming Doc Rivers flames out, and the season's not going to look good next year going into it. The vibes are not going to be there. So I don't see it being this year, obviously. Next year. Oh, actually, no, it could. Okay, I'm getting my timelines confused here. Obviously, this year Jokic is going to win it, but next year he won't win it. I think the year after and the year after that, potentially he could win it. He'll be in competition for that. Luka's going to get one of them for sure.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. And I think you're right. It's going to be next year because if the Mavs can get a top 5 seed next year, even a 4 seed maybe, he's going to win it.
And that'll be him entering his prime. He'll be 26. He'll be but I mean, they really want him to win. You can just feel it. Like, every year for the last, 3 years, he's gone in as the favorite. And then everyone gets upset when he's not he hasn't. I don't think he's finished in the top 3 yet.
Mm-hmm. His stats have been absolutely nuclear this year, though. I mean, if he puts up these numbers next year and they just have 1 or 2 seeds higher, it's a lock. I mean, it is a lock.
If they're a top 3 seed, he's just getting it.
Yeah. So for me, though, I think that it's tough because, obviously, when it comes down to who's going to win, for a guy like Jokic to win another one, which I think obviously he easily could because he's only 29 years old. He needs to win another championship for me. I don't
100%.
think they're going to give him another one unless they win another championship.
They probably wouldn't have given him this year's one if they didn't win last year.
No, you're right. They wouldn't have. They wouldn't have, and that's why they didn't give it to him last year because he hadn't won a championship. They gave it to Embiid instead because they didn't want to do that. If the Nuggets win the title this year, I think he could even win it next year, depending on what happens. If he puts up even better stat,
if he wins this year, I'm assuming the Celtics are going to win this year. That's kind of where I'm leaning. And even with that, everyone's still with the Tatum thing. Like I said, I think the year after that is when the finances for the Celtics are going to hit, and Tatum's going to have to go on his own, kind of for the first time, really.
Yeah.
Without a really good squad. I mean, he'll still have a good squad around him. The Celtics are an awesome front office, but Luka next year to me is a lock.
I think
put it in now on whatever gambling site you use.
Keep your receipts.
It's just so tough. I would probably honestly, even though I do like Jokic a decent bit, I would actually probably go Luka, Giannis, Luka. I don't think Luka's going to go back to back. I think he'll win one, and then I think if Giannis gets that trade we're talking about, I think that first year he's on that new team, he'd win it.
Yeah.
And then I think that Luka by that point would have developed even more as a player, maybe at 27, 27 years old. And then I think they'd probably give him a second one. So I think that's what I would say if I had to honestly.
So none of you guys think Tatum will ever win one?
Ever? I don't want to say ever, but I don't think in the next 3 years maybe. I mean, he's only going to be 29 after the next 3 years, right?
Yep.
So he could win another one in 30s maybe. You never know.
Yeah, that's true. What about Shea? I don't see him ever winning.
This was the year. This was the year he had to do it.
Yeah.
That's why people were pushing.
Having the 1 seed with a young team, when the team gets better around him and he's probably not going to be the 1 seed again, then
this was it.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Well, maybe in a few years, if you've already exhausted Luka getting MVPs, Jokic, if everybody else has kind of already gotten him and he's the 1 seed again with similar numbers, maybe then they just go, let's give it to Shea this year because we don't want to give Jokic his 4th or we don't want to give Luka his 2nd. He's ready.
If that Giannis trade happens though and they're on the same team, there ain't no way he's getting.
We know Giannis is getting it.
That's what I'm kind of thinking of right now. I think he'll be.
That's when they'll be a 70-win team. But we also said that about Giannis and Dame, so we'll see. All right, let's get into some trivia questions because it's time. This one is which player to never make an All-Star team has made the most money in their career?
Oh, I feel like I know this one. It's Tobias Harris.
You said Chandler Parsons.
That's a great guess. Those are.
Who'd you say?
Chandler Parsons.
It's Tobias Harris. This guy is the whiz of
just because I feel like I saw something recently about that.
$211 million he's made, and he's never made an All-Star team.
That's insane.
That's pitiful.
You should donate some of it, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
The crumble cookies.
Yeah. All right. Well, this guy just gets them every time on his first try. All right. Wemby. Of course, I got to throw him in there. Wemby recently blocked Jokic 4 times in a game. That's only happened 1 time before that. Do you guys know who blocked Jokic 4 times in a game?
I feel like I'm going to say Embiid last year, but
they're not a superstar.
Oh, okay.
Not even a star.
Were they ever a superstar?
No.
Did you say Mitchell Robinson?
No. Good level of player.
In the league still.
I don't know if he's in the league.
Oh, what?
Okay. How about Medu?
No. I'll give you a hint.
Is he Biombo?
No. He's had a sibling in the league.
Marc Gasol?
No.
Not Powell?
No.
Can't be Mason Plumlee.
No.
Miles Plumlee?
No. It's not a Plumlee.
Cody Zeller?
Ding, ding, ding.
Oh, yeah.
Cody Zeller blocked Jokic 4 times. Oh.
That's...
Come on, Joke.
Yeah.
Come on, Joker.
Never mind, you can't win another MVP.
He's not finishing top 10 all time. All right. Do you guys think you can name all the current players that have scored 60 in a game?
Decent
I
amount.
feel like I might be able to know that one.
Let me see how many there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
All right, Braun and Brunson. Let's do.
Braun and Brunson.
Cat.
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 Booker.
Embiid. I know Durant
Embiid.
hasn't, surprisingly.
Durant has not. Yep.
Booker, Booker, he said.
Booker.
LeBron.
He said
Oh, they
Durant.
said LeBron.
Curry has. And Clay. Curry and Clay have.
Dame.
Steph has, and Clay has. Yep.
And Dame, too, he said.
Dame.
Giannis, we
Dame's done
say?
it the most.
You say Luka yet?
Nope. Luka.
Giannis, we say?
Not yet, but now we got
Is
him.
Kyrie?
Oh, Embiid.
Kyrie did it.
Embiid,
I
did
was
we
about to
say?
Yeah, you said Embiid.
We said Embiid.
Yep. So you got one.
Oh, James Harden, did we say?
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
You got him?
Yeah, I was going to say, he's had a couple of those.
Paul George, right?
No.
Oh,
There's 3 more.
I want to say Butler, but I don't know.
Oh,
who else.
AD.
No.
Really?
80 has never had 60.
80 no.
60.
Jamal's got.
Oh, Brunson, did we have? We said Brunson?
He said Brunson.
Almost Malachi Flynn.
Donovan Mitchell, did we say?
Yep.
No,
Or no, we didn't
that's
say
the
him,
other
but he's
one.
on the list.
Um,
So 2 more.
has Ant?
He is not.
Didn't Cat get 60?
We already
said
said
that
that.
one? Okay, sorry. I missed some of those.
He did it twice because he had 70 this
Didn't,
year.
Ja?
didn't Clay hit 60?
No,
Yeah,
not
we
Ja.
said Clay.
We said
Said
Clay.
Clay.
Active.
Jordan Poole.
No.
We say Giannis.
I thought he did for a
We said
second.
Giannis.
Yeah.
How about
There's only
Wait,
2
Chris
more.
Middleton.
No.
did Bradley Beal ever get one?
There you
Beal.
go. That's, yeah.
One more.
Jimmy Butler?
No, it's not what you said. Star or no?
Superstar. My
Shea.
superstar.
Jason Tatum?
Oh, Tatum has. Yeah, that's right.
My
There's a reason we
superstar.
sent him last.
Ouch.
That's
So Lillard has done it the most times. How many do you think?
Well, he's got the 70 piece, and he's probably got like 3 other 60s. Let's go 4.
5. 5 times. Harden's done it 4, and then a couple 2s and 1s.
Kind of shocked Harden doesn't have the most.
He has 4. I'm shocked by that too. He had
All
like
the same year.
He's had like 60-point triple
feels like-
doubles.
He might have more like 50-point games, maybe. He's had like 40,
Probably.
50.
All right. 5 tallest players in the NBA.
Bol.
Bobo,
Porzingis.
Kristaps,
Wemby.
Wemby,
Victor.
Boban.
Boban. Those are the 4 easy ones.
We're missing one.
You guys all know who this guy is.
Bench doesn't play.
He plays, but he's not a starter.
Drummond.
No.
Oh.
Duran. No.
7'2".
Cornette.
Pokashevsky.
It is Cornette. Yeah.
Luke Cornette.
Pokashevsky.
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
It's Cornette. Yeah.
It's Luke Cornette. All right, and then this one's kind of this one's fun. The 3 main stat leaders, and we'll do the 15-16 and 16-17 season. So, points, rebounds, and assists in 2015-2016. Steph points.
Westbrook assists. I'm gonna say.
Nope.
Harden.
Nope.
Oh, assists. I
Not
feel like that
LeBron.
was.
No.
I'm trying to think.
Rebounds. I'm gonna say Drummond.
Yeah, Charles.
There we go.
Great guess. That's crazy.
I mean, he gets those.
14.8. That's a lot.
Yeah, he gets boards.
I'm trying to think of the assist.
Assists per game. So
Give me- Oh, dude, who the heck is it? Kyrie?
No.
John Wall?
no. He's an
Harden.
assist guy. Hall
Chris
of
Paul.
Famer. No.
Really?
No.
This is wait. What year is this? 15, 16?
Yeah, 15-16.
Wow.
I don't even know what team this guy was on at this point.
Rondo.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Bulls,
call.
right? The
That,
Bulls.
that gave it away.
Oh.
They had a good year that year until he
That
got
was the
hurt.
Dwayne Wade Rondo Bulls.
Yeah.
With Butler.
Jimmy
too.
Butler,
It could've
yeah.
been good if he didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
All right, and then 16-17.
I feel like
Durant scoring leader.
No.
Harden.
Right? Harden, no. Westbrook, right? Yeah.
Westbrook
Oh,
points
yeah.
per game leader.
Not assist too.
No.
Chris Paul.
No.
Wow. Well, we gotta do rebounds too.
The rebound is hard. This guy is like when I say it, like you'll be like, oh, but like he's never been a star.
Hassan Whiteside.
You got it.
Let's go.
Good.
And he probably led the blocks too that year, I'd assume.
I don't have that.
I just remember him like
three.
during that era, like he was like the East didn't have much. Like he was like one of like the best
He's just
players
one of
in
those
it.
guys who just put up the rebounding stats, but never was really a great
He was on the
player.
Heat those times.
And then the assists.
Curry.
No. Curry's never been a high assist guy.
Really?
No.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I think he's maxed like a 7 or 8.
Yeah, he's like a 6.
Is it LeBron?
No.
No.
You guys have already said his name, but we were talking about points.
John Wall.
No.
Harden.
Westbrook.
Harden.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, yeah. And then this one, this is pretty, it's kind of hard to, it'll be all right. Types of shot points per game leaders this season. So there's 6 types of shots based on the data I had. Drive, catch and shoot, paint points, pull up, post, and elbow. Who's the leader for drives?
I'm gonna say no. Anthony Edwards.
No. Similar kind of player.
Mitchell?
No. And he's averaging 17.3 a game just on drives. So he's a high scorer.
Wow.
Luka.
No.
We say Giannis yet?
No. So drive is like all the way down.
Yeah. It's not LeBron either.
Shea?
Shea.
Really? I thought he stops and goes to the post and shoots.
He does both.
No,
Yeah.
the way he does it, I think, classifies as drives. I didn't put this data together.
Yeah.
So, someone smarter than me is putting this together. Catch and shoot points. This one's really hard.
I feel like it's got to be like a Herder, like a Bullock,
No.
like one of those kind of.
It's not someone you'd think of. I'll give you a hint. They're not in the play-in.
Like they're
Their team is not in the play-in.
below.
Under the play-in.
Is it Corey Kispert?
No.
Wow.
I mean, that was.
They've made an all-star team.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's
West or East? Can we get that?
West.
It's not Markkanen.
It's Markkanen.
It's Markkanen.
Wow.
I thought it was Steph. He's number 2 for catch and shoot. Markkanen 10 points a game on catch and shoot. He's one of the best. He's one of the best catch and shoot 3-point shooters in the league, which is pretty surprising.
It's crazy.
Paint points.
Embiid. He was out. Yoke.
Nope.
Giannis.
Well, it's points per game. But
Yeah, Giannis.
It's not Giannis.
Just in the paint.
AD.
AD.
Good. I was gonna
That's right.
say.
He's played this year.
Pull up.
And
No.
Shea.
No.
Kawhi.
No.
Pull up.
I feel like those are 3.
Donovan Mitchell?
guesses. Oh, that's
No.
another one. No, not Garland.
Those are all the guys
Brunson.
you think of. We
No.
said them all. That's all of them.
Pull up. Butler.
No. He's better than
Brown.
these guys. He's better than like Brunson.
Not Tatum. Not Brown. Not Curry.
Better than Tatum.
No.
Luka.
It's Luka.
Okay, yeah.
All right. Yeah.
And then post and elbow shots are the same guy,
Yoke.
Jokic.
Yeah.
So what's funny though, Embiid is the most well-rounded of all these categories, but he's not the leader in any of them.
It's because he got hurt.
Well, no,
it's per
because
game,
points per
though.
game.
Okay, yeah.
So like when it shows like the splits of how these guys are scoring, Embiid is like pretty consistent across all 6 of the categories.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for the day. Thank you for watching the 4-Point Play, and definitely go check out some of our other content.
Like and subscribe.